Yesterday was one of the weirdest days I've ever had. It started off from 5:55 in the morning from an old online friend, someone I've known for quite a while. We've spoken about great things, about life, goals, random stuff, and I can't stress this enough. I wish this person nothing but success and a great life, but the message that I had did not make any sense. And I obviously said to myself, I can't be asked. I generally couldn't give two damns. Anyway, the conversation just got, I don't even know how to say it, but it just got not my cup of tea, I would like to say. And again, I will stress this enough. I wish this person nothing but success and a great life. But it was giving energy of what the fuck. So I then obviously went about my day. I was going to try and plan my day, which I usually do, is to obviously go to the gym. And I'm trying to look after myself. I'm trying to look after my well-being. And the reason why I've been taking my health a lot more serious is because I found out recently last week. In fact, this will be another story for another video actually. But I had to go to the emergency, and there was a reason for this because obviously I found out I've got high blood pressure, and I've been really taking my health a lot more seriously. And anyway, behind the point, let's go back into the actual story because I genuinely believe that is a whole different video. And it's a video that will explain to really appreciate your young age. Now, whilst I was going to the gym, I do my workout. And I've never been to the type of person whenever I'm going to a gym is to talk to people or say hello. I've just came here to work out and that is it, frankly. And the reason why I do that, I don't really want to make gym buddies. I don't believe in gym buddies and stuff. I find it quite, I don't know, I kind of find it not weird because I think gym culture is a big thing and people have found really long time brothers and sisters there, so fair play. With me, however, I think it's because I just want to work out and do my own thing and I don't really care who's watching and stuff like that, or it's just one of those things really. Anyway, and people who go to the gym, you'll probably know, there's always a character who's a bit of the gym guy or gym woman. It's more or less, I think it's to do with guys, but he was a character in a way where he always would say hello to everyone, which I actually do appreciate looking back at it yesterday. He would make sure his presence is known, but in a very good way. He would always say, he had this nice aura about him actually when I look back at it. And in fact, even with him, the first time I saw him, and this is my first time I went to this gym, is I used the machine when he wasn't using it, and I didn't really clock or anything. But he came up to me, and I looked at him in a weird way, and he showed me, and to this day, I have to respect him. He showed me how to do it properly. And I think there's a lot of things you can learn from that as well. And not me realising now to this day, he's always saying hello to everyone. He's always, he's even said hello to me as well. And I love little moments like that. I really do. I love to see people have fun and enjoy their surroundings and enjoy the people that they connect with. I'm all for that. But when it comes to gym buddies, it's just not for me. And then whilst I was coming back from the gym, having a nice little walk in the sunny British river, I saw a beautiful old couple, and it really hit me. It really was a beautiful thing to see because you obviously had the beautiful old lady walking in front and the old gentleman behind. And whilst I was going past them, I kind of let them go past me, to give way to them basically. And he said, "Good morning, sir." And I said, "Good morning." And that was it. And I thought that interaction was so powerful. Because, I wish I could have stopped and talked to them, to be fair, because I could tell that they've been married for over 40 years. I mean, you could just tell their aura. And I just found it fascinating. But obviously, since they were old and you want to give them grace and let them do their little things or whatever they were going to do for the day. And I thought that was just a beautiful moment. So I came back to my house and it was obviously it's been quite hot where I'm obviously living at in the good old Britain. And I was like, okay, I need to get out of the house, which I did. And so I did. I took some public transport, which is the worst thing you can do in British heat. And the bus itself was hell. It was a sauna. It was disgusting. It was pathetic. I could go on and on. Do I blame myself? Absolutely. I think I could have took an Uber into town, which would have been a lot better. But I just wanted to have a travel. I thought the airflow would be okay, but I forget that the British transport airflow is absolutely disgusting. So in a way, I got off the bus, and bearing in mind, I only wanted to get off or to get out of my house is just to see the town. Now, the town that I'm living in is such a horrible city. It's such a bad city. And I realised whilst I was walking in town that there was no life. There is no. How could it be so sunny and full of life, but there was no life to look at? Yeah? And that's what I noticed. And I really thought about this whole process of why did I generally want to get out of the house? Yes, to get fresh air and get some sunlight. I'm not saying that is a bad thing. But if you're going to a place where you feel irritated every time, then I don't think it's a good place. And I'm trying to work on that as well. I'm, trying to move. This is a whole different story. So in a way, I thought, right, I'm going to take one of the Lime bikes. I usually do sometimes, it's a nice little exercise for me to go to town all the way to a certain other place as well, just a lot quicker. Whilst I was coming to near the end of the place, this young chap, I like to say, tried to fake throw towards my direction. And I was like, what the actual fuck? So I said, excuse me, don't ever do that again. Like, really, do not. And obviously, he's a young lad. You're not going to really do anything. You know what I mean? It's very, I get it. But then I'm thinking of my own safe being, really. And I thought, right, let me carry on with my journey, which I do. I then ended up going to a lovely market called Asda for all the British folks to get some carrots, because obviously I had some chicken already. Oh, I can hear some people shouting, sorry. And I was getting ready to prep my food. Again, guys, I've been really taking my diet really seriously. I've been eating fruits and etc. I can go on. Anyway, that's going to be another video. But again, just really making sure I take care of myself. And I was hoping to get okra as well. And I couldn't find it at all. Which was really annoying. But anyway, I hop back on the same bus. And again, it was disgusting. It was pathetic. It was a disgrace of a heat. And I come back to my area. And I'm walking. And I saw a French Bulldog. It's like, oh, a Frenchie. So I've looked at the dog and I've looked at the owner. But the owner's looked at me up and down. So I was like, that's a bit weird. And I said, you all right, mate? He said, you what, mate? I said, you got a nice dog. He said, fuck off, mate. And I was like, I would say, obviously I'm on YouTube, but I won't say it. And it begins with a C. A lot of British folks know about this. And it ends with a T for my people overseas. It's a great British swear word, I'll tell you that. And but that's what he was. He was a letter that begins with a C and ends with a T. And what I noticed with that is I saw hatred in his eyes. Now, I felt really sorry for the dog because I love dogs. I think dogs are beautiful creatures. They are really generally a man's best friend. For him, I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, within 30 seconds, I'm literally near my house. A couple of lads in the van have looked at me. One of them's looked at me. He said, "You all right, Gaffer?" I said, "You all right, mate?" The juxtaposition here is just ridiculous. I've complimented an owner's dog. He's told me to fuck off. And then I'm walking near to the end of my house. Some lads are saying, "You all right, Gaff?" It's just the juxtaposition here. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? It's just, again, nothing bad happened yesterday. It was just a weird day for me, as the title says. A weird, strange day. Anyway, I go into my house. I almost prepped food. Food was already prepped anyway. I did a little bit of cleaning, etc. And from there... Oh, I'm going to save that for the end. So, food was more or less done. I'm trying to think if there was anything else, but I think I've hit the key points. But then I watched a movie. Yes, a movie. And it is and it was yesterday. Ghost of the Ex-Girlfriend's Past with Matthew McConaughey. Hoping I'm saying his last name right. Really good actor, by the way. And I really related to him. Now, obviously, guys, I am not the best looker, or I'm not a looks maxing person. I couldn't really give a damn about that. But I've had, some relationships, and I really related to his character because it made me question some things, and I kind of noted it down here. Just bear with me, because it made me think, is it here? Hold on, guys. It's really important I say this, because basically, because I'm not going to have time to just really look through all the notes I did take. What I was trying to say is, there's a scene in that movie where Matthew McConaughey's, him and his little brother. His little brother is obviously getting old, and he's walking to Matthew's character, and I related to both characters at the same time. Bearing in mind, guys, this movie is actually really funny, but then it got really depressing at 1/4 of the film. I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, Jesus, this is actually depressing. And that scene in particular was what was depressing, to be fair, because whilst I see the younger brother getting old, it reminded me. I was like, okay, will I be old like this and lonely? Compared to the old couple that I saw earlier, you could tell they were so in love, and they were so impacted in each other's lives. And then I watched this movie, and you see this old man, basically, and if people, I don't want to spoil the movie, I would definitely give it a watch. And then you see Matthew McConaughey's character, and he is, obviously in the grave, and it really just reminded me of, like, his only little brother was the only one who came to the funeral. Obviously, guys, there's more to it, and you would have to watch it. But the questions I was thinking to myself, who would be at my funeral? Have I added any value to people? Would I be loved to people? Would I be cherished? These are the things I think every individual should think. That's why I try, and I'm using that, the owner with the Frenchie, I should say, what was going on during his day, and I don't really care. I couldn't give a damn, because people like that, I just don't have that energy for. And it goes back to the message I had early during that day as well. What was it for? Was it to gain something? I don't know, and I don't care. Anyway, we're almost finished. So, as I go, and this channel is going to be be authentic as possible. I was a bit lonely, as I am obviously single, and I keep myself to myself. I obviously was in a state of calling someone, I like to say, and I can't really say too much on YouTube, but yeah. And whilst I was in that kind of thinking, I was like, is it going to be worth it? And I was justifying, why would I pay for it? Why? What benefit would it bring me? Yeah, it may sort out the loneliness for an hour, but it's nothing really. You will feel like shit afterwards, excuse my language. So I was really frustrated. I was thinking about the movie as well. But there's one thing I didn't mention. And again, this story was supposed to be in chronicle order. It kind of has been. But there's one thing that made my whole day amazing. I was cleaning up in the morning, as I said earlier, cleaning up the sink, etc. And I saw this butterfly or moth or whatever it is. Apparently it's a moth, but to me it looks like a butterfly. But anyway, we digest. And it was trapped in my sink. I say the sink. It was on top of the sink, where you would put your washing up liquid, etc. And I said it was such a beautiful thing, because the wings were beautiful, and it was like a white, orange, black, vibe going on. It was just beautiful to look at. And I thought, I've got to rescue this little creature. I've got to. And I got it onto my tip of my finger, my index finger, and it literally was just sitting on my finger. And I thought, oh my God, this is beautiful. Now, I thought the wing was damaged, I thought, oh man, I hope it can fly. And I was very concerned for this butterfly for some bloody reason. And then it did something beautiful. Then it got onto my top, and I thought, oh my god. Look, I wish I could have kept the butterfly, which is so weird because butterflies are meant to fly. You're not supposed to trap a beautiful thing. But it just stood on my top for about a good 2 minutes. And then I thought, right, let me go outside, which I did. And it was still on my top. I was like, oh my gosh. Wow, this is beautiful. This is absolutely divine. And then when it flew so majestically. And that is, my friends, the weirdest, strange day I've ever had. Whilst I saw that butterfly, moth, let's call it butterfly to me. It always will be the butterfly. The butterfly effect, I should say, is whilst I saw that butterfly fly and got its wings back, got its wings actually back to flying mode, I was so happy in that moment. Can we learn a lot from this butterfly? Where was it going? I don't know. Where was its destination? I don't know. Will it make it? I don't know. It may have died by now. I hope not. But everywhere has a destination. Everywhere has a starting point. I learned a lot from that movie. Will you be alone forever? Will you be chasing all the women in the world? Will people remember you as a good person? And you could argue, wait, nanovolts, we're all going to be forgotten. I'm like, very true. But I'm talking about the intermediate people that are in your life, in your circle. Yeah? There's so much things I want to say. And this channel will be things I will say authentically as best as my abilities. And I've really enjoyed talking to you all. Guys, please interact with me. Comment down below if you've had a weird, strange day. And let's continue this journey. I am Nano. Have a great and pleasant day.